Hello, my name is Jacob Whibley. I'm a Toronto-based artist and designer. My earliest recollection of being involved within a creative community starts back in the early 90s, mid-90s, when I would frequent a lot of the small press fairs, the zine fairs here in Toronto, and through that I became connected with a large group of creatives. After that I attended OCAD University for illustration, but switched into graphic design halfway through. And it was through that design program that I learned about the Bauhaus, the constructivists, and Dada, sort of those between war movements, and they've continued to inspire me to this day. Upon graduation from OCAD, I helped form a drawing and painting collective called T Macho, and it was a collaborative sort of art effort where we would draw and paint on top of each other's drawings and paintings, and it became this sort of fun, subversive way of making artwork less precious. And during that time I also developed my own sort of independent solo art practice, and that's when I started working on the collages that I sort of have been carrying through with to present day. The core of my practice up until recently has been using a lot of found objects, specifically found paper. I've been collecting paper since the early 2000s, so I've been working with sort of this batch of paper for probably over 15 years, and it's an integral part of my practice. I love all of the rips, the tears, the folds, all the sort of hidden histories and gestures that are embedded in the paper themselves, and I sort of showcase and use those to build up panel works that sort of illustrate a flow of time and an accumulation of time. My process has shifted considerably since we've all sort of been forced into lockdown. The last couple shows I've been relying heavily on fabricators to help me weld and create molds, and it's been difficult to get into their studio. Also the fact that there is sort of a precarious financial situation going on right now, I've been having to scale back the use of those collaborators and completely rethink the materials that I've been using. So I've been looking at more of what I have at my studio and what's on hand, and sort of using up current resources as opposed to investing in new ones. During lockdown, I've spent some time sort of researching and experimenting with working with sound. I'm working towards a new show in the fall, and I really want to bring sort of a found sound or generative noise element to the show that'll help enhance the visual experience. I'm assuming that we might be on lockdown again because we'll be in the second wave, and I think, and I'm hoping that this sort of extra sort of auditory element will at least give some kind of spatial context to the work that I hope on showing. I've been staying connected to the Toronto arts community through a variety of resources. Like a lot of people, I've been sort of doing virtual tours of galleries and shows. I've been participating in workshops and sort of conversations that happen around that. A few friends and I have been doing sort of collaborative back and forth file sharing, where we've been generating sort of images or written elements, poetry and essays and things like that. So this is a tub of offcuts. This is 15 years worth of scraps. Every time I finish a collage or a series of collages, I sweep all of the leftover bits into here, and then I use them in each subsequent series of collages. And what this does for me is create a sort of timeline or a historical sense of connectivity between all of the collages that I've made. So they all sort of relate to each other. There's pieces in here from 2005 and it's 2020, so I've got 15 years worth of history sort of festering and collecting in here. So during quarantine, I found myself sketching a lot more. I've been trying to get away from the computer, and I have been working in my notebook, sort of just drawing and sketching out ideas a lot faster than I normally would if I was sort of developing them on the computer. And there's been a great sort of release and sense of exploration with that, because I work more with the immediate as opposed to refining when I'm, say, using Illustrator or Photoshop. And it's been great.